afternoon. It's a little bit later than when I filmed all of this content. It was a time, and I don't want to sit here and be like everything's amazing all the time. Like, whilst yes, it is so possible that that can be true, what I also want to share is being a full spectrum human, allowing it all to exist without going down a shame spiral or making yourself wrong or be any less if you're experiencing any of the spectrum of being human entirely. So that's something I really want to normalize, like normalize allowing it all, normalize allowing it all in to alchemize and then move forward in a really empowering way. Welcome. I am still figuring this out, but we're welcoming it all. But I hope you're having a beautiful day. Let me know how you're feeling today in a word below, and let's just get straight into early January. Being offline has taught me so much about real, true connection, and not just like responding to something online and like maintaining that. Well, there's a few parts. Responding to someone's story or reacting is like not so much a significant connection. I feel that social media has changed the way of maintaining real deep connection, and whilst I actually have created so many beautiful deep connections from social media, starting from that, I mean on a deeper sense of like then maintaining that connection. It doesn't compare to actual attunement to your life and intentionally connecting. I like that so much, like intentional connection beyond just a quick connection through an app. And the second thing with that is, unless you openly share or whatnot, social media is like 1 second of life. Like it's like a moment in life that's like captured on a big scale. It's just a moment of life. Today is the 8th. I knew the 8th would be a really hard day for me, but living it, I'm proud of how I'm handling it. I'm proud of how I'm like, it actually doesn't matter how you handle it because it's a difficult day. Like I'm just meeting myself with grace and not projecting, no, you should be feeling like this, handle it like this. I'm meeting myself where I'm at, in resilience, in grace, in pain, in grief, in hurt, in fear, and just letting it be a part of my day and being slow with myself. I read something the other day and it was like, if your capacity is at 2% and you give 2%, like you've actually given 100%. I just like sat at the ocean listening to white noise for like 40 minutes, helping regulate me. It's so interesting, so much of me is like, no, don't share this because it's so vulnerable. But it's like, this is what's real. This is what's actually happening in this season. It doesn't mean it's going to last. Really present and happening in my life now. Like, am I oversharing? Is this like a silly thing to do? I don't feel like myself, even though I am being myself, but I mean, they're like the exciting, beautiful parts, but then I'm like, but this is also equally as beautiful. You don't have to make it be like this is any less or like unworthy, because this is actually what is. Oh my god, the state, this is the state, like this is a part of what you see of the end product. You just don't see it happening. It's kind of harder on this side. The shame that I'm like holding around everything that I'm feeling and experiencing. How I said before, these are really real stories for me. I'm like, oh, is this too much? Is this isn't the best version of myself that I'm sharing, that like I want the world to know? That is shame. Like, that is judgment of self, and that is shame. And I am only contributing to the, oh, like, this is so awkward. Oh, whatever. I'm only contributing to the shame, collateral shame that we all feel and what we're experiencing, unless it looks like this. Otherwise it's not good enough. Otherwise then we carry that shame. And I just really want to like dissolve that, and dissolve what is acceptable and what is not, like what is good and what is bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just is, and that gets to be enough and okay. And I don't need to shame myself on top of already having a hard situation, because that's just like spiraling, and that's not going to support me. I actually deserve to support myself more in a hard situation, not shame myself, then not add to a collateral damage of people expressing that they are having a hard time because they feel shame around it. Expressing yourself authentically from a space of deep self-love and knowing your value is like has become a non-negotiable for me. This is after years of feeling unworthy, and to give that a voice from a grounded space, because I value myself, because I value expression and being heard, has become what I feel so deeply passionate and grounded about and in. Doesn't make it easy, but it's like building moments of sitting in that discomfort, beginning with what you allow with yourself. Went into an op shop, eat, pray, like wow. One of my favorite things to do is literally just sit out here. Oh, my peace lily was dying and now it's coming back to life. I don't know how to if you can see her. It's been really interesting. I've been having different thoughts, like the integration of coming back online after so many months off. Like I spent 7 and a bit months completely offline. Like I had a business going, I was posting every day, and I just in a moment decided to go off of coming back online when there is so much noise and just like people. Whereas before, being in my own space, the only quote unquote noise, like there wasn't any. It was just me and my existence and being in presence in whatever that looks like. And the integration of that and being in that, a whole world and people tuning in, it's just such a strange void space of like, I'm not where I was. And now I'm in a space where I'm like, my relationship to socials have changed. The way that I want to use them or be on them has completely changed. This is my brain fully just skipping. My favorite thing to do, one of my favorite things is literally just speaking like this and speaking to what's real. I just love that. I love that. I love the connection I get from that. I love just full expression and normalizing that. I really love that. Still be offline and live and be and feel all those things without the way that I was showing up or the way that I was utilizing it in a creative and fun way. I actually love creating content. I love making movies. I love taking pictures. I've always been like that. And going offline as well, I realized I was doing it because I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoy the creative process. I like that creatrix of expressing and playing with things, and like you can even hear it. I just love that. So this is something that I thought, you know what, this will be fun. And it's just that integration, and I'm just speaking very real time, very real, of like existing in that and also existing in my reality and embodiment. And it's like an initiation more of the embodiment, the life that I have built being offline and what I feel in my body and in my mind. I actually said to myself the other day, I was thinking to myself about like the fear of judgment, and I was thinking to myself, like, I remember being told actually aside one time, like, it's only embarrassing if you were embarrassed. Like that's a you thing, and you can take your power back in that by releasing that judgment of yourself. Like that's actually what's the core of your embarrassment, is that you're judging yourself. It's not embarrassment like when you're doing something maybe that you're cringing and you're like, oh my god, people are going to judge me, this is so weird, blah blah blah, like all of those things. When you're actually judging yourself, the fear of all of those external things as well, and the fear in general is like, what if you saw it as like it's actually permission? It's actually a permission for other people to see a woman or a man or a human just so embodied in what they're doing and who they're being and what they love, and that's enough. Like, what permission is that? What if the energy and the frequency of that becomes now permission? And that just felt so liberating and empowering, and it's actually true. Eating bacon and eggs at any time, that looks this does not look very good. One thing that I just feel like you never get sick of, or I never get sick of, is like bacon and eggs. Like I can eat that every day and not get sick of it. Like I've done that for not every day, but consistently. Like I'll choose to have that breakfast and never get sick of it. Like, is that just me? No, you know what's real? I really hesitated to show that. Well, yeah, I was thinking, I'm not being productive enough. But then I was brought to one of my deepest teachings of being offline is like, why is the thought process and the reality I need to be productive when being is enough? Being is also being productive because you're being present. The pace and intention of productivity is like do, where I am is not enough, I need to do this. Whereas coming back into your body and being present and being, why are we rushing? Like being alive, being here, being now. That is so much more relaxing. Well, not in a way where we're bypassing things that we need to do, but embodiment of peace and presence with intention of also doing those things. It's a different energy, it's a different pace, it's a different way to be. It's like the space between. This is a mini one I made, but that's a bit silly. Are you kidding? Good morning. I had this realization yesterday when I was voice noting one of my friends. I've been saying and feeling within myself that I have just felt like such a shell of myself. I have not felt like myself. I keep using the term hijacked, and it's because I had been operating in such a survival mode my body and mind are obviously just trying to protect me. I understand that because I was going through a very highly like traumatic and stressful situation. What has unfolded in that, and also from my time being offline, both of these things have been such significant changes and choices and action taken that's different to what I usually would, on top of also deciding to move to a foreign country for I don't know how long. And I was reflecting of like how I have just felt numb and hijacked and a shell of myself, and truthfully like quite anxious. And I had this feeling of like, well, Amy, you are now in a space where you haven't been before. And truly, I feel different. I just feel like there was Amy before I went offline, and Amy before this whole situation happened. This entire thing I've responded to completely different. And there's like Amy before that and Amy like after that. Like I just don't feel the same. And that's because things aren't the same. Like things will never ever be the same again. Wait for the plane. That's not a bad thing. I don't like using the term good or bad, but that is, it makes sense to why I'm feeling so lost in things, because I'm in like a space of processing the new space of where I am and teaching my body that like it's actually safe, like we're safe, it's okay to be here. Because I haven't felt like this before, but I also haven't been in a space like this before. Owning that and realizing that and teaching myself and my body that we are in a new space and things aren't the same and you do feel different and it's safe and it's okay. Like that is a process as well. But the anxiety and the fear and all of the things that I was feeling feel eased now. Like there's a sense of ease because I realize I'm landing in a new space. And the thing with being in this new space as well, and I'm not talking about physical space, I'm talking about the way I feel about myself, the way I show up for the world, the way I feel about the world, the way how I want to show and do and be in the world. All of those things have completely changed. Wow, saying this feels vulnerable. Can I accept that I just don't feel expansive and purpose to 100%? These are just language to try and put around how I feel. An attachment, it's almost an attachment more so, and feel into that sense of like, did I fail? Am I letting myself down? Have I wasted my time? Like, is this really all of that stories, all of that, and that feeling in my body on a sensory level, in my nervous system level? Can I let that go and accept that that's actually not really what I want? My ego is like clinging on. Hey, I can feel it, I can hear it, and I can feel it. Yet I feel as well in this new space and person and all of those things I sort of expressed before of where I want to be, and I don't even know what that looks like because I've never even been here before. But I do know that I need to show up for myself in a new way. It requires me showing up for myself in a new way also. Wow, I just really like let that land because it's true. It's very, very true. It's very, very real. Can I let those things go and find peace in not attaching to an outcome, but attaching to what feels real in my heart now and showing up for myself in a way that is supportive and empowering to move forward from that space? Like, I could have a whole conversation about this too. Mindful of time and purpose and point. Even though this is the purpose and point. I love that reminder of like, sis, like being alive is the purpose and point. Do your thing. Here's insight into my brain and my self-talk. Shit, now I forget what I was actually saying. Fuck perfect, fuck like it needs to be, or judging or beating yourself up if it's not XYZ. When you surrender is let go of control. It's the ability to be with and create peace in that within yourself. Even if it's like, and you're on your knees, it's like creating this opening and this peace within that space and letting go of a control because that you think that's keeping you safe. But control is an illusion. You surrender in presence of what is and you let go. It's like you let life in. Also, I'm applying now logic in emotion. I've just never been good at that. I remember going to therapy about this years ago. I remember talking to my first coach about this in like 2021, like wow, that's like 4 years ago now. And I'm getting better and better at it, applying logic in emotional chaos. But it's important that we step into that wisdom of logic of like, even though I am not in my best headspace, quote unquote best, like my most clearest headspace, what action or what logic or what way do I need to think and apply that's actually going to support my future self?
Let me know any topics you would actually like me to further talk about or talk about in general. I would actually really love that.